Hey everybody, clearing. These are two little crystals. Actually, these are from Hallelujah Junction, where I'm taking a group of people mining in May. So if you would like to be part of that trip, please put your request in the comments below and I will connect you with how to get your spot. We have one spot left for sure, and I can possibly access 5 more spots if we need them. But let's get into the reading. So this is going to be a divine feminine check-in, and I heard stabilization. So let's get into it and see, what is it? Thank you, divine creator. What is it that the feminines are stabilizing on all of the chakra levels at this time? What can we see for the DFs and DM cross watchers? What can we see about the nitty gritty for the feminines? This deck, the ancestors wanted to come through. So specifically something about the feminine womb portal and the connection that the feminine polarity has with ancestry and future, genealogical, the river of life, that motion. So let's see, there's a special affinity with the feminine polarity, and that in the way that the feminine approaches the primordial and the intuitive future. Okay, this deck is going to be for how the feminines are being guided to look at their divine counterpart. This deck is going to be advice for the feminines going forward. And then we've got 2 more for the chakras. Bear with me here. Also, my tarot course starts on Wednesday. There are still a couple spots left for that. You can also find that on my website. Links in the description below. And I've got some more sessions open. So just kind of, letting you know while I shuffle. What can we see for all of the chakra levels? What is going on for each of these stabilizing chakra frequencies? What is the emotion that the feminines are grounding, aware of, transmuting on each of the chakra levels? Okay, here we go. Crown chakra. Commitment. The frequency of commitment supports our ability to devote ourselves in all aspects of our being and with unwavering belief. This is so interesting because for me personally, I've been getting a lot of downloads. As you may have known, if you've been following me for a while, I've moved, 4 or 5 times in the last couple of years since I've been on YouTube, and this is a home that I'd like to stay in for a little while, right, and settle down. So I thought for a second there I saw a bruise. I think it's just the shadow. No, it's not a bruise. Anyways, I'm fine. No comments below about that, whatever that is. And I am personally feeling that I've had a few moments in the last couple of months where I have felt like my instincts were telling me I needed to go and broaden my horizons. And this commitment thing, I know that my trauma has caused me personally to need to keep moving, or, my life circumstances haven't been, I have never put down roots in a home energy and really observing myself. This is an energy that I feel coming in, and put it in the comments below if you can relate to this grounding of commitment within ourselves, feminines. Commitment supports our ability to devote ourselves in all aspects of our being and with unwavering belief. Another awareness that I had was I've felt antsy, stir crazy in relationships in the past, and I know it has to do with root chakra. And so join me, feminines, with these downloads from the divine about how we can continue to ground this sense of belonging, this sense of rooting, this sense of stabilization into our own lives as a foundation for divine love. The emotion, gratitude. I am thankful for this life and the opportunities it presents. I myself am thankful for the opportunity to put down roots. Yeah, I really am. What can we see for the feminines? And how they are perceiving this energy of commitment and gratitude, self-love. So there is a correlation between the love that we feel for ourselves and this feeling of commitment worthiness, gratitude for everything that has happened and everything that will come. What do the ancestors have to say to us about that? The Chariot. This is because things are about to start moving forward. So this sense of grounding. Now I'm seeing yoga postures where you do a twist and you ground in and raise up, and then you're able to move further. It's like that. So things are stabilizing for the forward motion. I'm seeing the wreath that is typically in the world card and the moon here. So this is talking about certain things coming to a finale and that there is some mystery around what will happen next. The reason we're not given what will happen next while we're still closing certain things out fully is because it is sacred to focus on those things and to have the space to do so uninterrupted, without rushing, without being pulled too thin, without needing to go towards what comes next prematurely. And so the ancestors are saying there are a couple of things, trusting the unknown and closing out the karma, that fully need to happen just at this time. When we can have this sense of groundedness and commitment within ourselves, even through the uncertainty, we are connected to the divine. That is the true source of peace and trust. So yeah, there is such a beautiful calming to the nervous system coming in. What can we see for how this relates to the divine counterparts? The sweetness. So this peace that comes from alignment with the divine, the ancestors backing. This is for children too. Son and daughter cards here. This is page and knight. These are 2 children cards. This can be future children, but this is the generational flow, also the sweetness. So where this relates to the masculines, this is the surrender feminines. When we're not reaching to the masculines for this sense of commitment, we're finding it in ourselves. This is crown chakra again, I must remind. So being grateful for the stability, the stabilization that comes from connection to source, and how that moves through every layer of our being and really informs us. We don't have to rush. What can we see for... Oh, lovely. So advice here. Queen of Wands is my divine feminine in the flow. In the inverse like this, give yourself some time to unfurl into, the new life while closing out the karma, while not needing to know what will come next, trusting the divine, being in that safety, surrendering, coming back into, I heard your single season, into your wholeness. No pressure to get to the next thing right now. There's this deep sense of allowing yourself some time to pause where you're not telling yourself there's something wrong with it. This is necessary rest. Oh my goodness. I just heard you're going to be happy you had this time to really love yourself, to pour into yourself, because once your connection kicks off, it's go time. Really enjoy setting your schedule, setting your well-being, setting your optimum health, because what's coming next is going to be va-va-va-room. How do I even say that? Va-va-va-room. Okay, what can we see for third eye chakra. Oh, the seventh chakra. So we get crown energy coming down into the third eye. That means the divine is helping augment what you are perceiving internally about your reality, about inner, outer reality. The energy of the crown chakra supports our feeling of being connected to a higher power and part of a larger whole. When you consider this connection to source and the all with everything, your third eye is more accurate with what you're assessing. It allows you to see things in a sovereign way, and it allows you to feel safe regarding the readiness or the timing or the alignment of free will with those in your constellation. So this is about trusting the divine and letting that be a lens that helps you see things in a very safe, grounded, secure, love-filled, patient, kind, ready, open way. Emotion, pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Exactly. We see this whole fractaled energy of everything we are experiencing becomes a reflection of our consciousness, of our alignment, of our frequency, of the level that we're perceiving in. If we are in victim modality, we're going to see, or victim mode, we're going to see that reflected back. If we are in grace, we're going to see that reflected back. You know, you are wherever you go, I just heard. Okay, what are we seeing here on what are the feminines aware of on the third eye? Grounding the love. Yeah, being the love in the face of adversity, or, you know, anytime you feel like there's the potential for things to be at odds or harmonious. This is looking for that harmonious angle with the intuition. Only the divine, that crown chakra connection to source, can bring in that harmonious level. What can we see from the ancestors? Oh, so the past isn't just in the past. Let all of the lower vibrational things stay in the past. But the ancestors are saying love is coming for you. This is the hand of God in this card, bringing this unconditional love. And so stay in this joy and happiness of the Three of Cups, and just know that it's on its way here, feminines, as you learn to see the beauty way, the beauty in everything. It's absolutely important. Okay, what can we see next? For the counterparts, this is what can bring in this reciprocity on the beautiful level. So this is inner child healing. This is also being able to provide for that generational provision. I'll often say that this is the person I'm reading for, and then their own inner child and the children that may be in their orbit, or just generationally in general. But this is the way that we can teach the flow, the reciprocity, and truly healed people heal people. So yeah, I see myself in everyone. This is about being able to see our own past, our present, and the future influences that come from everything we set out into our reality. It does come back around. I just heard recently, you know, the golden rule is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The silver rule is don't do to others what you wouldn't want done to you. Both hold true here. But this is about the intuition helping to see that which we want to create. What can we see for advice? King of Cups. This is the emotional mastery. Even when things are tough, feminines, you do have the ability to come into emotional harmonic resonance so that you can conduct yourself in a healed way. You don't need to have your counterpart or others be responsible for your happiness. You can remove yourself from the equation if it's not happy. And if things are good, you can be fully present. But you are responsible for where you interact and place yourself through your free will. So this is really important, that if you are not aligned with certain things, you don't have to disintegrate. You can simply balance out and say, okay, that's not aligned for me. What can we see on the throat chakra? Divine feminine. The frequency of divine feminine supports our soft, receptive, and nurturing side, facilitating our intuition and intrinsic understanding of our connection to the cosmos. So this is the communication from the feminine. So instead of getting mad, frustrated, angry, pouting, this is really about going into the soft, receptive energy of the feminine. This allows when you drop into your feminine and you engage with your intuition. So we've got this beautiful chain of things coming down through the crown chakra, through into the third eye, and now we've got third eye energy, the intuition coming into this flow of communication. So this is authenticity. This is personal accountability being spoken, being brought through. But yes, we're having this channeling pathway come through this reading. How beautiful. Facilitating our intuition, intrinsic understanding of our connection to the cosmos. So we are living, breathing temples of that divine energy, and we're bringing it through into the things that we're doing more and more consciously. I'm hearing, look around at the way that feminine energy is blossoming on the planet right now and really appreciate the softness that the feminine is allowed to bring through into our world at this time. What can we see for how the feminines are experiencing this? Deep inner nurture of self. This is that same energy of not letting anything be responsible for our own happiness. This is bringing it through from source, through our interpretation of things, through our speech and our actions, and grounding that into our heart space. What can we see from the ancestors? Oh, this is the heart healing. Yeah, so the tender message from the ancestors is they weren't as privileged, being from a more barbaric time on the planet. It wasn't so safe, it wasn't so healed, but they have so much hope and joy and admiration for this generation that gets to have a more healed version. Be the change you wish to see in the world, I just heard them say. How does this relate to the masculines? Unconditional love. Again, I'm hearing do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So feminines, when you're triggered, when you're challenged, drop into this nurture and afford your masculine that grace. You know, even if your masculine isn't at that place where they can see love in such safe terms, it does no harm whatsoever for you to be the embodiment and the light in that regard. And this is also saying that when you have that safety within you, that feminine wholeness within you, you can actually see the attempts and the grace and the shows of love that your masculine gives, and begin to focus on a new reality emerging, where there can be such beautiful exchange, reciprocity in connection that's not transactional give to get. It's truly unconditional love. So your masculine is being stimulated to see things in an agenda-free light, is what I just heard. Advice for the feminines, oh, the Two of Cups in the inverse. So, you know, this nurture that you're affording yourself right now, and the demonstration that is for your masculine, it is filling up both of your cups. Your masculine is working on their side of it. You are anchoring it on your side. And this is a beautiful developmental stage right before this Two of Cups can acknowledge. This is a preparation for union phase. So you are only as good as your weakest moments. Really scan your energy and see where you're at when no one's looking. See where you're at internally with how much beauty and love you see the world with, feminines, how much openness and generosity you can have. Again, drop into connection with Source and really open your heart to seeing things in a safe, beautiful, non-attached way so that you can take or leave anything that feels right or not right to you, honoring or not honoring. It's about self-regulation, emotional regulation, spiritual, energetic regulation. When we have struggles with what other people are doing or saying, we do not have to engage with them. If we are afraid, if we are worried, we do not have to lower our frequency to cling to them or the idea of them. We can come into safety and truly let them come towards us. That is the magnetics, and that will not lead us astray. So if you come into that wholeness where you are truly in alignment, feminines, if the masculine you're watching this for does not start showing you things that are love-filled, it may not be this divine counterpart scenario. You have to know your situation. If somebody is not making gestures, shows of care, if they are not reaching out, or you don't see growth, you don't see anything that is worthy of continuing to invest, please be reasonable and don't be in waiting energy. Your intuition will know if that person is offering you certain things that are warranting you continuing to invest. But if your heart is saying that it actually isn't this person, really start honoring that. And each one of us knows whether we should keep considering a certain individual, but it should not be an unconscious motion. You should have recognizable awarenesses, confirmations directly from them about their care, about their growth. You should be seeing certain things going forward. And so after a number of, weeks, months, years with nothing, in some cases, you'll want to start to consider if you can move your own energy forward in some way. Now, I don't mean going to other people, but there is this message coming through about not holding back on your healing, your release of karma. That includes karmic partners. This is also about stepping more into your life purpose, into service. So if you're holding back those things, waiting on someone, and you know that you're not getting any reciprocation, some of those kinds of steps forward will sometimes bring the person in to communication again. But this is because you've started making more movement forward. And usually when somebody steps back that you have a genuine connection with, it's not because they're rejecting you. It's because there are other priorities in both of your lives at this time that demand focus or growth or expansion. It's like, you come together like this, and then there's a push, and then a growth, and then a push, and then a growth, and then a push, right? And those are the periods of separation that allow for the growth to happen. That can be I need space or friend zone. Those are, I need space is somebody identifying that they're ready to expand and they need a bit more room. If they friend zone, sometimes that when we're friend zoned, we're not seeing that there's a need for expansion. because we're leaning in too much instead of seeing our own priorities that we need to take care of first, for instance. So yeah, there is this beautiful safety coming into these connections where we're understanding these periods of expansion for what they are. If you can see them from higher guidance here and through the lens of love on the third eye and going into your femininity, you will be able to spot what is going on in your connection, dear masters, I just heard. Okay, what can we see for the heart chakra? Ooh, the second chakra. So how interesting. We've had this interesting crown chakra into the third eye into the throat, and now we're getting the second chakra, the sacral, up into the heart. So that speaks of sacred sexuality because we're now bringing the sensual energy up into the love frequency. Yes. Okay, so second chakra helps us to navigate our lives through our emotions and supports our ability to enjoy the sensual world. Our heart has to be in it. We have to have the heart in the game. Okay, and failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. So all of the times that we haven't had the ability to blend our heart, our wholeheartedness in with safety into pleasure, where it's been a reach, where it's been a stretch to, it's been premature, it hasn't had a solid foundation. Lust is when we haven't anchored our heart and the sensual level together, or hearts haven't aligned in a connection yet. It doesn't mean they won't. It just means we have to be very savvy, conscious of when that alchemy is warranted, or when it's completed, established well enough for it to be an entrusting. So trust and love go hand in hand. We can't just have the sacral chakra without it being connected to the heart chakra, or we'll have imbalances, and that's where that void feeling, that hollow feeling in the heart comes from, is what I just heard. And that's where we experience failures in connections, because we haven't taken the time to connect the hearts prior to that sensual experience. And if we have heart openings when and during and previous to sensual connection, it's not yet at a sustainable level, and so there are disconnects to bring everything up to speed so that the heart can be consciously invested in the pleasure in a mature and warranted way. Okay, feminines, how are they experiencing this right now? Okay, we're getting the Queen of Wands in the inverse. So this is, did we not get that already in the same position? This is a time to really heal your heart and your sensual energy and set your standards in this mature, balanced way so that you are in containment of your own sensual energy and not giving it away for free, so to speak, when your heart knows it's not warranted. You alone get to determine when there's a sufficient foundation for your pleasure to be safe. You get to know. And as you come into mastery, feminines, you're the expert in whether your heart is being honored in a connection that warrants you bringing in this sacred sensual energy and sharing that elixir between people. What are the ancestors saying? The Knight of Cups. Okay. For some reason, I'm seeing this garland of flowers, and I heard Renaissance fair and Renaissance. So there's a renaissance of modesty, of love, of fidelity, of monogamy, coming back into sacred love, into sacred intimacy. Wow. This is the key for things to feel balanced feminines is to make sure that you know with all of your divine intuition that you are being honored before you blend your sexual chemistry, connection, energy together. The ancestors are saying this, you won't miss out on what is for you if you wait for that, if you establish that, and then. So whatever this balancing is that the feminines are anchoring in this single season, the self-love, the healing, the deep honoring, meditate on your love. This is why we need to know our worthiness in order to hold out for this mature awareness of what love and sensual connection is and what we're worth. Okay, what can we see for how this relates to the masculines? Justice in the inverse. So this is what justifies unions coming in, is when we actually have this establishment of love and then the physical pleasures. But the sacral chakra is not just a physical sexual chakra. It is our grander pleasure. It is also our channeling chakra. It is, and the reason it's our channeling chakra is because it is our emotions. It is our sexual spiritual chakra, and our emotions on this free will planet are our navigation. We have free will, we have duality here, love and fear. And so when we harmonize, when we become whole, we can attune to the highest frequency, which is the voice of the divine. The divine is love, it's ecstatic love. When we can channel that in through our heart and bring that discipline, capacity to wait for our heart chord to be struck with another, the trust building, the faith, the alignment, that is when a connection is justified to fully come in sacred union. What can we see? Oh my goodness, wait for it. So we get, how does this relate to the masculines, and what is the advice for the feminines? Justice, clarified by justice in the same. So feminines, you're anchoring nurture, you're anchoring flow, you're anchoring love in these connections. Allow it to establish. Justice is on the table here twice. This is sort of also saying as within, so without. So as you actually come into this embodiment of your righteousness that will not settle for less than you are worth, this is when it comes in, feminines. We try to deflect and defer and tell ourselves, I'm not going to until they do. And it's the opposite. Believing is seeing. What can we see on the solar plexus chakra? Curiosity. Curiosity supports our intrinsic inquisitive nature, which is the necessary driving force behind any growth and evolution. So on this empowerment chakra, the solar plexus, the feminine is being invited to be more playful and curious about what can come, and humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. So if you're going at your divine connection through a serious lens or sadness or heaviness, that means you haven't fully healed yet, and it's time to start getting curious about the fresh energy that can come in and coming back into an alignment in your own right where you can have joy as a way of life. How are the feminines experiencing this? Yes, seeing things on a deeper level. This is my card of the 3D, and in the inverse, I like to say this is seeing the energetics, the truth of the matter. So you will have this cosmic level humor, feminines, if you can remember not to take it all so seriously and really lighten up your heart space. If you're feeling bogged down and sad about the prospect of where things are at, tell yourself, let go. Release that boa constrictor tightness that you've got hanging on to what you don't feel you have. Let go. Come back into lightness. See the bigger picture. Switch up your energy. Do whatever you need to do to love yourself in those moments. Self-regulation. The ancestors are saying, pour that love into yourself. There's so much of it available. What can we see for towards the masculines? Karma. This is the card of judgment, awakening. What am I getting? So both of the counterparts here are seeing the light. This is a consummation, the moon and the sun with the eclipse energy in this card. So you are simultaneously seeing karma in your lives that have been keeping you from feeling the joy in relationships, guilt, shame, unrighteous choices from the past, karmic connections. All of the karmic connections that we've chosen in the past, we felt compelled, we felt magnetized, but it was because we had to experience them in order to understand our own traumas, our own imbalances, but they weren't necessarily the joyful connection that these divine connections will bring in. And so regarding your masculine, really do see that both are shedding karma right now. What is the advice for the feminines? Life purpose. So whether this is you, your masculine, or both, there is this end of burden and then this spark that's bringing in the purpose. I think every year around this time, I keep getting the Ace of Wands. So no matter where you're at each revolution around the sun, there is this same energies through the different zodiacs. And this time of year, it really does feel like an ignition wants to come in for the next layer of purpose unfolding. So it really does see, I just saw something briefly on Jung and the shadow. It really is a good time to see the shadow here. And our shadow lends itself to our purpose. Each soul, I believe, is born into certain karmic things we experience. And when we find those solutions, we not only rise and triumph, but we get to share those solutions with others. And it's like a fire, like catch a fire out into the world. We are the change we wish to see. When we change, we become the person that could have kept us safe, healthy, protected as children. And then we give back into the world by being that version of ourselves that we would have needed. So this is the empowerment coming into the divine feminine collective. Through these journeys, we are stabilizing and becoming so balanced that we can be generous, we can lighten up, we can bring joy, we can encourage, we can help solve. What can we see on the sacral chakra? Kindness. The energy of kindness reminds us to be considerate and wise in our interactions with others and ourselves, and to find the root of our love through our connection to source. So there's that crown energy coming in. So if you and your counterpart are not, on the sacral chakra here, making love every day right now, it's time to be really radically kind, that there have been too many connections that have been lust-based and survival mode and hypersexual when they haven't needed to be, because it negates the soul. And so we've finally found counterparts that aren't going to just use us that way and be done. And it's a little bit painful sometimes because our egos want to feel like we're attractive to the other one. And it's a deep unlearning, because this love transcends more than just that animalistic side. It's kind, and it's kind right now to allow for this and to bring modesty, to bring righteousness, to bring honor. We are really bringing this channel of love in from the divine right now and healing the sexual energies, alchemizing that beautiful purity. Acceptance. I'm learning to accept the things I cannot change. We cannot change that this process has unfolded in our lives. And it's such a blessing. It's not easy because we see things that we don't necessarily want to see in ourselves. And others, we have to address our control issues. But kindness, dropping into our femininity, not forcing things, when we accept where things are with joy and gratitude, we're good. But it's magnetic because it brings more of that good in. Where are the feminines at with this? There's the commitment that came out to begin with. So this is grounding in these things, first person. What do the ancestors have to say? So this is commitment to self and not settling for cheap relationships or even wishful thinking. This is you radically having accountability, feminines, for your own commitment to loving yourself so you don't cheapen your sensual connection, your heart, by longing, craving for a relationship that is not honoring and deep on that level. And the King of Pentacles, to clarify that from the ancestors are saying the world is just getting to a place where the mass populace can hold out for love. Wow. Aho, ancestors. What can we see for the masculines? Now there's the Two of Cups in the upright. What you are wanting is wanting you, feminines. Your masculine is holding back until you come into this level of commitment and love in your own right. So the restlessness is gone in you. They don't want to be a band-aid for your restlessness. They have seen you wiggling and writhing and, running in so many ways. The feminine runs all the time. Don't be deluded that it's only the masculine. Every time you're overly emotional and having a freak out feminine, you're running. Every time you tell yourself, oh, the love isn't here, you're running. Every time you make a decision because your masculine's not going to show up anyways, you're running. Those are devil energies, and your masculine is waiting for you to balance out so that they are not your band-aid, so that you have this diamond heart within you and they get to meet you in that. They are also a perfect mirror, so they are also balancing this out in themselves so that you're not their band-aid. It's not just one-sided. What can we see for the advice? Queen of Cups. So this is the unconditional love of self and other, the intuition. Really search for ways that you run, feminines, where you tell yourself things that make you start to shirk and pull back from your masculine. Even if you're got your poker face, game face on, if you have that wilting violet feeling inside, you're running. And so it's time to really use that intuition and really know yourself on a new level and really bring yourself into a reality check. You've got all the time you need to know what you're worth and to know that if any masculine can't meet you in that energy, then it's not your person. And so just take the pressure off your masculine having to come in and make you feel better on any of those ways. I know this is intensive work sometimes, but it is really about you understanding what you deserve and taking your energy back when you're not receiving it. It's not that your masculine doesn't want to give it to you. It is they can't. They're divinely guided not to when they see you going into fear, when they see you unsure, when they are so sensitively tuned to your energy, feminines. They're your person, right? So they pull back even sometimes before you know why. But if you look back on your connection, and it truly is a divinely aligned connection, every time your masculine has pulled back, you will be able to spot your growth spurt or the connection growth spurt if you look at it through this divine lens and you bring divine consciousness to your third eye, like we saw, and then look at it from that perspective about the holistic picture. What can we see on the root chakra? Sensitivity, yeah. The frequency of sensitivity helps us to open to the world of subtlety and detail while anchoring in a structural foundation. Stabilization, thus supporting us to become more fully multidimensional, right? So no more running, feminines. This is about put your root down and stabilize. Come into this foundation, this sensitivity and self-esteem, worthiness issues. You deserve love. I possess the gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. When you anchor this commitment, your worthiness, your stabilization, your foundation, where you stop running, feminines, because you're so sensitive. So is your masculine. It's like so instinctual. But when you understand we're no longer in that 3D survival mode and we're balancing out in love and we're bringing the gifts of the spirit in, you're safe. You're safe. You're safe to put down roots. You're safe to unfold. Wow. How are the feminines, doing the inner work, seeing how it's all connected. This is that holistic view of the connection, of reality, and the sensitivity in each one of us to ground ourselves and to create our own stability here emotionally, mentally, and physically. It's all connected. What would the ancestors say? Yeah, this is so you can open your heart to love, so you can trust. What can we see for the masculines? Okay, so they are so tempted to come rushing in and drink from this elixir, but they're going to do so when they're divinely guided, when it's time. So we're so close, feminines, so close. And advice, the new beginning is just around the corner. Just give yourself this luxury of time to embody this beautiful, beautiful energy within yourself that is not dependent on your masculine or anyone else, your connection to source. Let it cool your engines. Let it calm your nervous system. Let it bring clarity, rest, peace, optimum health, trust. Okay, many blessings, everyone. Bye for now.